Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Tuesday, July 27th, and we are on the road to Brent leaving still. Well, I did 2 car casts yesterday, so I don't have a ton to add since I did update you on the Power Veto results yesterday. There's more talking. There's lots of talking going on. Lots of talking and planning and plotting and, shifting. And everybody's in the game. Or, well, almost everybody's in the game. But some of it is just humoring Brent and letting Brent think that everything's fine. And Brent thinks that he's got half the house fooled and that he's staying when really all of the house is going to vote to evict him on Thursday. There hasn't been any talk that I have heard about switching the idea to keeping him. So I think at this point it's a matter of, will they completely blindside him, or will someone pull what some of us would pull a James and give him a heads up that he's getting evicted? I don't know. I don't know if he'll be let know ahead of time or not. There was talk about it. People told me that Kylan said, nope, let it be a surprise. Or Alex maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. And I frankly am going to err on the side of assuming he will not be completely blindsided, because at some point people just want to, cover themselves and be the one to let the person know rather than be fine. There's always going to be that nagging part of the back of their heads that these people could be coming back into the house. So you want that little advantage of, well, I'm the one that at least lets you down gently. Everybody else was willing to kick you out the door, but I was the nice one to let you know. So I still think somebody's going to let him know what's happening, but that's still 2 days away. So there's been all kinds of shuffling and plotting and planning, and the Royal Flush Alliance is while it may be the current, well, I wouldn't say the strongest alliance, while it's the newest. Well, the Detectives is newest. See, there's so many alliances. My point is, it's already got cracks in it, in that the non-king members of the Royal Flush Alliance, which, remember, the Royal Flush are the kings, the queens, and Derek X from the Aces. Derek X and the queens are like, we can't let all 4 kings make it. Remember, the kings are Xavier. I have to picture it in my head. Xavier, Alyssa, Christian, and Sarah Beth. And while Sarah Beth is kind of the most on the outside of those people, I guess, I think I'd have to do my alliance count. The Kings are still seen as very strong. I would say of those 3, Sarah Beth or Alyssa are probably the most at risk, only because Alyssa has not proven herself to be very strong in competitions. I would say Christian should be the number 1 target if I were in the house and was paying attention, just because he's so physically strong. But the house guest seems to not be as concerned about that right now. And Christian is already saying that he doesn't want to win another competition right away to put a target on his back. I mean, the fact that he even knows that he doesn't want to call attention to himself. So anyways, there's cracks in the Royal Flush Alliance, and it's just a matter of, people are all like, I don't want to win the next comp. I don't want to be the next out of household. I want somebody in my group to be it, but I don't want it to be me. There's a lot of confidence that everybody seems confident that somebody they're in a good spot with will win head of household, just that they don't want it to be them. The Joker Alliance, or the Joker team, is kind of that right now. It's kind of a joke. They when you look at it, and they've even talked about it, the Joker Alliance is not made up of very strong people as far as competition strong, as far as mentally strong. I'm not saying that they aren't, they're horrible, but Brittany, of course, has been a pawn two times now. Oz is extremely emotional and gets mad. I mean, the first week she got mad with Frenchie and his not communicating with them. And she would sit there and complain to Derek Frazier about it in the back bedroom. And that was like the first week. It's like, oh, they're not happy with their thing. Derek would kind of poo-poo it because he was in on it with alliances. But now, in reality, they haven't done much else. Derek is kind of seems to be resting on this cookout alliance, and I don't know. He's just, I mean, there's a joke about reclining. I guess Dingo of hamsters. Gosh, I can't think of the name of the thing. I want to say hamster. Damn, Mike. I'm having a total mental block. Yeah, it is Hamster Watch. Wow. I was going to say Silly Hamsters because that was another site that was around for years. And so it was like with Hamster Dame. Silly Hamsters and Hamster Watch. Anyways, so she talks about leaning people, and she usually has one person, and she gets all kinds of videos of shots of them leaning on their elbows, sitting inside, just kind of not doing a whole lot. Well, that's Derek this season. And he just seems to go into a room and find a place where he can kind of recline back on his elbow and sit and talk to people. Derek just isn't doing a whole lot. His biggest beef last night was the house wasn't clean. So you got Derek, you got Azah, and you got Brittany. And they are just not seen as the big threats. And they aren't. The only other thing, though, is that of those three, two of them are in the Cookout Alliance, and so they aren't being necessarily targeted very hard by people, Tiffany and Kyland and I'm having another Xavier. Tiffany, Kyland, and Xavier are not really targeting Azah and Derek because they're in an alliance with them, a secret alliance that nobody else knows about. And so they're perfectly fine to take those two onto the jury because I would be. They aren't physical threats. Bring them along. And they're a solid vote as long as you keep citing the Cookout Alliance. So Brittany's in trouble. Whitney's in trouble. Of the Aces. Yeah, it's just they're I don't know when they're gonna go after the Kings. I don't know if the Kings are gonna. They may make it as a 4 into the jury, and that will be a strong 4 to deal with. The other thing was Dolfica put out a new alliance chart where she removed the Radicals and the Mafia Alliance and added in the Detective Alliance, and it made it look a lot different as far as, oh, look, Whitney and Brent are completely exposed. They have no alliance. And suddenly Tiffany is in 5 alliances. Kyland is in 4 alliances. And I think Claire may be in 4 alliances too. That's pretty strong when you look at it. When you kind of puts them right in the center. Again, I did do a tweet about it, so I am repeating myself in some ways, where I showed a couple of pictures from Big Brother 15 and 16 where, you had just these core people that were in the center of a ton of alliances, and they end up going pretty far in the game. So Tiffany, Claire, and Kyland are all in pretty darn good shape. Now, they are aware of each other. Claire doesn't seem to be seen as a threat as much as Kyland and Tiffany do. Even Kyland is talking about Tiffany being a threat with Derek X. But Kyland at the same time is also working very closely with Tiffany. Tiffany did say last night that she doesn't have told Kyland, I think, that she doesn't have a final 2 with Claire. So there's an implied final 2, but even Tiffany, if she's being honest with Kyland, doesn't see that as a firm final 2. The other thing you got to remember here is that we still don't have these ride or die relationships. Even if we see a final 2, as we're aware, there's several people that have several final 2s. You can't peg one as this is the person that person A is being completely honest with about everything. That's not, I wouldn't, the only people that I might say that way is Christian and Alyssa. Sarah Beth and Kyland, maybe, but Sarah Beth doesn't know about the Cookout Alliance, so there's not a whole lot of complete and total honesty among all these house guests, which is why things could flux a lot, could change a lot, because they're all willing to cut each other if they have to. Today, nothing on the agenda. The power veto's over. They're going to keep humoring Brent, letting him talk about what's going to go on next week, even though they all know he's not going to be there. That's one of the things they do. They kind of bounce ideas off of Brent and let him talk, and Brent is more than willing to talk about what's going on. Brent continues to be, Brent. I guess he said, his latest one that I caught that he said was that women like to hang out with men who aren't in good physical condition so that they have an excuse not to be in good physical condition themselves. I didn't hear him say it. It's been reported that he said it. I just go, I don't know why you would say things like that. I just don't. Yeah. Oh, well, anyways. I'm sure that if I tweeted that comment that someone would tell me they were perfectly fine with it. Because that's what happened the last time I listed off some of his comments. But again, the next people up to be eliminated after Brent are Brittany and Whitney. We'll see if they can pull this off. If they can pull out Brent and Whitney next, this is turning into a bit of a steamroll season. But it's okay. I'm enjoying it, and they're all playing the game. They really are. There may have been a lack of drama so far in some ways, but again, all the house guests are willing to go after each other. The alliances are strong, but they are not, people that ride or dies with each other. They're willing to cut each other if they have to. So with that, folks, I am going to sign off. Wish you a good Tuesday, and thank you to my patrons again. I mentioned last night, Anne, A-N-N-E, is my latest patron who signed up at patreon.com, patreon.com/BBGOSSIP. And I appreciate it. Appreciate all my patrons. You can become one if you'd like, or you can just keep listening. Either way, I appreciate it, and wish you a happy Tuesday. We'll talk to you guys later. I need to do a YouTube live soon. I haven't done one for a few days, and I needed to jump on and do that. So I'll probably do one of those on the way home tonight. All right? See you guys. Bye-bye.